My people, what's going on? So today's YouTube video, we're gonna talk about chicken keeping 101. A little chicken keeping tips and knowledge I can give you all, really for my beginners. If you're a pro, if you've been keeping chickens, then hey, you might still enjoy this video and just see what I got to say. But this video is mainly focused to the people who thinking about wanting to get chickens, not understanding what it may take, how much time and effort you may have to put into keeping those chickens. So that's who this video for, right? Firstly, I will tell you, if you are thinking about getting chickens, don't. Yeah, get the chickens. The reason I said don't though, just beware. Beware, people, when you get chickens, it's a thing called chicken math that I like to call chicken magic. Chickens will have you getting more chickens, and they're gonna have you wanting goats, they're gonna have you wanting other farm animals, they're gonna have you planting a garden. That's what they do. I'm telling you, people, so that's why I say don't. But if you want me to tell you my advice for you getting chickens, I would say go ahead and get the chickens. Chickens are a great addition to any homestead or any farm or just any house, any household that wants to start homesteading. Get you some chickens. Of course, the main reason most people want chickens is for the eggs, right? So in this video, we're gonna talk about simple care tips and the simple things, people, that you have to do for the beginners to understand what does it take to keep chickens. Right here, I have probably about, I think about 20 chickens. I lost count, it may be more than that, but I got about 20 chickens behind me free ranging. And I also have like another 10 chickens growing out. And then I have some in a brooder. We got chickens out here. But the ones that free range are the egg laying chickens, the one that's already actively laying eggs. So I'm gonna take y'all back here. We're gonna get to it. Let's go ahead back here with these chickens. So people, first thing first, I'm gonna tell you about keeping chickens. They're very simple animals to keep, but they're the gateway animal of farm life, people. Believe it, trust me. All the sounds you hear behind me right now is the product of keeping chickens. Like I just said, it is a gateway animal, people. It will have you buying all type of farm animals. So that's just my disclaimer, so you can't say I did it to you. But first thing first, chicken keeping is simple. Just like most things in this world, if you keep it simple, people, they only need a few things, and we're gonna start with their diet. When you have baby chicks, when you buy chicks in the stores, they need what you call a starter feed, people. I'm not gonna show you any brands of starter feed right now because it's not about the brand right now, and I'm not promoting a brand right now. I want you just to understand what it is that you may need, and then if you wanna search for certain brands later, then, you know, come ask me some questions. I can give you certain brands that I can suggest to you. Chicks, baby chicks that you may buy from Tractor Supply or any other feed store, or you may order offline, or you can even purchase from me sometimes. They need what you call a starter feed, people. That's what it will say on the package. It will say starter feed, chick feed. The reason they need the starter feed is because the starter feed is formulated for baby chicks, baby ducks. It has all the nutrients they need, it has all the protein they need, and it has the perfect amount of certain things that they need to survive and for them to have the proper grow rate, for them to then become one of your egg-laying chickens. Layer feed is what you feed in your egg-laying chickens, right? And layer feed is more so formulated for the adult chickens because they have more calcium than the starter feed. And if you give your baby chicks the layer feed that you give your adults, it could be too much calcium for them. It could be too much calcium for them if you did decide to try to feed your baby chicks the starter feed. Now, right here behind me, y'all see Zoe just came outside. Let me show you. She feeding the chicks some of the scraps from the house. So while she doing that, you see all the chickens running to the food behind me. You can also feed your adult chicks or even the baby chicks your house scraps, people, to save money. That's what we do. Some people are against it. We not against it, people. We are a homestead, and that means we have to find each and every way to save on the scrapping and to lower the waste that we have. So we do feed table scraps, but we do not feed the chickens, and we try our best not to feed the chickens salty foods. We don't give them like the bones. We'll give them a chicken, but they ain't gonna eat the bones. We just try to give them the things that don't have too much salt. If you have food that is heavily salted, you can rinse it off and then give it to your chicken. That's with the baby chicks or the adult chickens. We do feed table scraps as well, but we also the main diet that table scraps will not replace is the starter feed for your baby chicks or the layer feed for your more adult chicks. Now that the feed is out the way, of course you need water, right? So when you buy your baby chicks and you in these stores, you always see they have a section to where you can buy water, you can buy a feeder, and then they have all these other extra things you can buy, right? So make sure you supply them water. I don't have to talk about that subject too much because we should know to give any of our animals water. Also with the food, you have to supplement a lot of your chicken's diet. For the most part, not all the time, I'm gonna tell you why. With your starter chicks, with the chicks that you're raising, you don't have to give them the grit, you don't have to give them the calcium that you may give your egg laying chicks. Reason being because the starter feed that you're giving them is already formulated. It's already having all that they need in the feed. You don't have to do that. For your adult chickens or your egg laying chickens, you may want to give them some extra calcium here and there. I don't buy calcium from the store. Sometimes I just grind up the eggshells and I give it to them like that. And I put it in the area to where they can always get to it if need be. The grit helps the chickens break down food. They don't have stomachs like we have. They don't digest food like we have. So they need the grit to help them to break down the food when you're feeding them like this, table scraps. They need that grit. Now, if you're feeding your chickens food that's commercially produced, like the pellets and the egg laying pellets, then a lot of times you don't have to supply them with a lot of grit because they can digest that food. The grit more so and mainly helps when they're eating a lot of table scraps. But to each his own, I still give my chickens grit and I also do supply them calcium. Another point is if you free range your chickens like these right here, you don't always have to supply them grit. I put it there if they need it, but they don't really go to it because they always scratch up the ground and they find rocks and little pebbles to eat anyway that will break down the food. So you don't have to do that for them. Now that we got feeding out the way, I'll talk about a little bit of the housing for your chickens. Do they need big coops? Do they need small coops? Do they even need a coop? How do they go to sleep at night? All of those different questions that you may have as a beginner. So chickens are not like ducks. So what I mean by that is a lot of times ducks, you have to either put them to bed or you can just let them free range if they free range, but they will not go to their coop every night. Chickens, if you give them a coop, you give them an area, they will find the area and they will put themselves to bed every night. When the sun starts to set, they know that it's becoming nighttime. They go and they love to roost. They love to sleep up high. So you give them a branch. You don't want to give them nothing like a little thin pole because they're not like parrots, right? You don't want your chickens sleeping to where they have to wrap around the pole like with their hands like that. I said their hands, but with their feet. You want to give chickens something more wider to roost on so their feet can lay flat on it. That's when they feel more comfortable. Do they need a coop? I would say yes. Technically, they don't need a coop. They don't need a coop, but for my beginning chicken keepers, yes. You want to have a chicken coop, and a chicken coop doesn't necessarily have to be what you go buy from the store that says chicken coop. You can make your own chicken coop, people. So speaking of chicken coops, I'm gonna turn the camera real quick so y'all can see this coop right here. This is what we call a hoop coop, people. It is made out of cattle panels. I hear some chirping. I hear some chirping, people. I hear some babies. We gonna get to that hoop coop in 1 second. I hear some babies though. Would you look at this? They gonna run from me. Y'all look at this. You see them baby chickens? They just had some baby chickens.
So what chickens have?
Y'all look at this. We got baby chicks, people. Mid video, this is the first for me too. I ain't seen them yet, so look at that. I don't know what type of chickens they are. I will assume that they're the Polish chicks mixed with the silkies because this was definitely the silky egg. That was dope. Y'all just got to witness that with me. So we did have a silky that was broody and it was sitting on some of the silky eggs. And she hatched them out. I see we have 6 new baby chicks. And that's why I tell you, if you're gonna buy chicks, it's how they start to multiply. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but we're gonna finish talking about the hoop coop. This hoop coop that you see right here is made from cattle panel and some wood. And then it's a tarp right here. The great part of it is just tarp wrapped very tightly across it. And that works as a great, some people use it as a chicken tractor because you can actually, it has wheels on the back, you can move it around and you can give them fresh grass to be on every day. We actually use it for a chicken coop. It's a chicken coop, people, that's all you need. So A chicken coop can be pretty much anything that the chickens can be safe in. You can lock them away from predators. Raccoons and fox and other animals do love to eat chicken as much as we do as humans. So that's the purpose of the chicken coop. So that's the purpose of the chicken coop, people. So find one on Facebook Market. That would be my suggestion for any beginners. Before you go buy something brand new, look on your Facebook Market, look on Craigslist and see if you can find used chicken coops, because that's the main purpose on it, unless you just got the money. If you just got the money, hey man, go get you a chicken coop. So when you have chickens in a coop, you also want to provide chickens with like a sand bath, because they just help keep the mites away from them. That's how chickens actually clean themselves. You do not have to wash chickens in a bath. You do not have to give them a soapy bath water to give them a bath. They actually love to keep clean in sand or dirt. So what we do, we provide like a little sandbox. You can do it with play sand. You can add some dirt from your yard, and that's how they keep themselves clean, dry, and free of mites, people. So chickens are very smart. People don't believe so. They have such a small brain, but chickens are actually very smart farm animals, people. They know where they lay the eggs at. They know when they feel safe. They know where the food is gonna be, and they know when it's time to go to sleep. So we got rain coming, people, but I'm gonna finish this video. We talked about what you need to feed your chickens. Make sure they have starter feed for your chicks or layer feed for your egg laying chickens. They need that layer feed to lay eggs. Protein, they also need that protein to lay eggs, people. You have a bunch of different chicken breeds. It doesn't matter. You have to do the research on what chicken breed you want based off where you're located at. If you down south like I am, we love chickens that do great in heat. If you up north, you may want chickens that do great in the cold. They have chickens that are mainly egg laying chickens. That's it. Like a leghorn, that's the white chicken. Leghorns are the best, or some of the best egg laying chickens. They lay white eggs. They use them commercially a lot because they lay so many eggs, people, and they lay fairly quickly compared to some other chickens. You also have chickens like buff Orpingtons that are like egg layers, but they also can be used for meat because they get so big, right? So those are like your dual purpose chickens. They're not just for egg laying, and they may take a little longer to lay eggs versus like a leghorn, but they can also be used for meat when you're ready to use them for meat. Versus a leghorn are super skinny chickens. You won't get much meat off of them. You can still use them for meat, but it's gonna be like for a little soup or something like that. Keeping chickens are very simple. You want a coop. A coop is just somewhere to keep them secured away from predators because they are prey animals. You want them to also feel secure because they will stop laying eggs completely if they don't feel secure. You want to make sure you feed them a high quality starter feed for them to grow the right way, and a high quality layer feed once they get to the egg laying stage, which is usually around 4 to 6 months for most chicken breeds. A quick tip: if you want to hatch your own chickens like I just did back here, or like my chickens did, you have to have a rooster. You only have to have a rooster if you want fertile eggs. If you just want eggs to produce for your family to eat, you do not need a rooster. The benefit of having a rooster real quickly is that they do protect the flock. Roosters do notify the flock when there's prey around, and roosters give you fertile eggs. They also help be the peacemaker between the flock. So when you add new chickens to your flock, they may want to bully the new chickens. A rooster can help be the peacemaker in that, you know what I'm saying? So if you like the video, leave us a thumbs up. If you want this in a more detailed video, if you want me to dive in very deeply about certain chickens or certain chicken breeds or the process of keeping chickens or where to get them from, leave a comment down below and I can make a whole nother video. While I was outside doing what I'm doing right now, this was just on my heart to do a video to tell people that you should go get you some chickens. It's fairly easy to keep, feed them and protect them. That's all it takes, people. They don't need a lot of space. They're not as noisy as some animals may be. Hens are a little noisy, but they're not super noisy. They're not messier than ducks, but they can be a little messy. All in all, people, I suggest you go get chickens. So this is just a little chicken keeping 101 for my people. Make sure y'all subscribe to this channel for more homesteading content like this, and y'all will see me on the next video.